of this podcast. Who knows what it's gonna be called? Pavel, what do you think I should call this podcast?
Podcasts. You want to give it a nice ring to it that'll be long term.
What about sessions with Isvan?
That's cool. Sessions with Israel. But that's also very predictable too, Like something with Israel. You want your name to be involved, or you want it to be like a concept, like it could be like, I don't know, the attic or something. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's like then that's just the vibe. That's like this is news from the attic or some shit. You know what I mean? And that's a concept or the jungle. I don't know.
For me, it would probably
jungle,
be the White Room.
the white room.
It can mean so many things.
That's crazy. That I would watch that shit. The white rooms usually that even the reason white is
It's for crazy people. So
yeah, it's for crazy people because it's supposed to stabilize you, but it's like too much white. That's too white. I'll be unstable almost. Yeah. Isn't it a trip how a stabilizer, too much of it can unstable? That's like what it's doing pretty much.
So we were talking about ascended masters, and then you got a phone call, and we have an ascended master right here. Can I grab you?
Yeah, I know you pick him up.
Yeah, I can pick you up. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Alright, so
There's my cat Luna. He's been an ascended master. He had to grow up his first half of his life in the cages, but he overcame him when I met him and got him out for $20.
by the way, Robin or Jose has been to 3 World Cups already at just the age of 14? Not 24. World Cup. South Africa, Brazil, Russia.
Yeah,
dude.
Badass, dude. That's some of the best stories of my life right there. Because I go with my dad and Diego. Jesus, man. It's just a call about what snacks I want here. Right here, what's up? The spicy ones.
You're on the podcast.
Okay, yeah, I gotta go. If they don't have them, it's chill. Okay, chill. I'll see you soon.
What's next called?
It's because I want spicy pistachios because those are bomb as fuck. But if they're not a deal, it's alright. I'll get it. I like puff corn. You know the hot Cheetos puff corn.
Yeah. You've always liked hot Cheetos and.
Well, hot Fritos was mostly my thing, I think. But yeah.
Dr. Pepper. He's the biggest fan of Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, if you're watching this, you have a sick patient right here. He needs treatment.
It's okay. I'm not drinking Dr. Pepper right now. There's some healthy young coconut right there.
Yeah.
Young coconut juice. Kimbo. Keeping it G.
Throws it on the computer.
Yeah, that made you nervous probably. It's a nice ass laptop too, all white.
Thank you. 2009 MacBook. So.
The ascended master though, aside from my cat, was I was saying not just one person, but the Mayans as a collective. I read on the book called The Celestine Prophecy by, what is that? I know the name of the author. James is the first name. And I want to say Redfeld is the last name. Can't remember.
We'll say that.
But the name of the book is The Celestine Prophecy. I'll look up the author soon. And he actually has 2 books. The second one's called The 10th Insight. But the first one is about the 9 insights which are found on an ancient manuscript found in Peru, originated in Peru by where Mayans came from, and that these 9 insights were kept forbidden for centuries, for years by the church. What they are is what the Mayans wrote down on, I forget what it was written down on, but they're 9 insights written about just wisdom and life in general. About there's 9 insights that they all come naturally at some point in life too. But some people, they don't reach all nine in one lifetime. Maybe nowadays nobody gets close to the nine insights really, because we're all not that like the will to evolve. That needs to be spread more, because we need to talk about that more because people won't do that much, except younger people and some other people. Yeah, they are. But anyways, yeah, that they they wrote down these nine insights, which I can't remember right now off the bat what they are in a row, but each insight had to do with just kind of an intuitive truth that it's like you already know it, and you just not until like you read it is it kind of like a reminder, like, oh yeah, like I guess I didn't think about that, but I did always kind of know that. For example, one of the insights, I forget which number it is though, but one of the insights is the insight that you can pretty much you can become like invisible to those around you by becoming just on a certain wavelength that others are not. Like, for example, that you and me are hanging out in the parking lot and fucking seshing, smoking weed and shit, just chilling, and then cops are on the other side of the lot, and then we're like, oh shit, it's the cops. Like, we wouldn't be like that, but say we got our other friends.
Weed is legal.
We got our other friends, but they're like, oh shit, it's the cops, and then we're like, chill, dog. They're not gonna notice us because we're on this certain wavelength where we're not even disturbed by the presence, and so they're not gonna even notice you because they're not on the same wavelength. Whereas that's just me trying to give a modern example of
right. For example,
of that
cops,
insight that they were saying.
They don't see it. They don't see it. You can be right there, but they don't see it because this is on a wavelength that becomes invisible to them.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
they just see it as another car, or
yeah,
maybe their attention goes there.
You're not drawing any attention towards you because you have no need to be drawing no attention towards you, because it's not just that you know it, but you believe it. That's the insight. It's you learn how to believe that that you're truly conscious of your actions, and that these certain things coexist all at the same time. Certain truths, supernatural and regular natural stuff, and there'll be other insights that book is just written in a really cool style by the author, where it's not even just about the nine insights, written bam 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 and explains it back to back, comparing, contrasting. It's nothing like that. It's about, I think he's an anthropologist, the author. That's what he was. I'm pretty sure he's an anthropologist, and maybe he's just a journalist or a writer, I forget, but he travels to Peru himself, and it's the story about how he learns about these insights, and how he learns about them through people that he's known some his entire life that are in the same field as he is studying, and they're interested by the same things he is, such as the ancients in Peru and the Mayans and why they disappeared. And the reason is because there was a rumor in Peru, now it's more well known because of the book and I'm sure other stuff, but that there is an ancient manuscript that the Peru church and I guess government also, like, that they would forbid from getting into the hands of the public. They wanted to keep it secret. They didn't want nobody to know it even existed, even though that's the homeland of like the insights. And so then that's just, I'm always intrigued by stories like that, because I'm just like, oh, forbidden knowledge, that the governments or churches are trying to keep from us. I want to know, why do you want to forbid it from me? And so then it's the same, the guy has a similar attitude. He's just like, yeah, I'm trying to know what's up with the nine insights, and he travels to Peru and he speaks to some of these people who are high positions in the church, and they acknowledge the existence of the documents, and then he actually comes into, like, it's a crazy story. I won't give it all away, But that story in of itself even opened my mind a little more to supernatural things, which then this is all kind of a trail off. We ended up trailing off from how I was originally saying. I'll talk about credibility for aliens. So if I believe, so by believing in, by reading about shamans and about supernatural experiences, if I can believe in those, why can I not believe in aliens? You know, that's I'll compare them even like that because they're both supernatural, and you know, so there's this one documentary that's really cool that I think is a good like intro for people who haven't really read or know nothing. It's called the Stan Romanek story. Have you heard of it? It's a documentary on Netflix. It's a documentary about this guy named Stan Romanek, and
well, the same thing with the scriptures actually happened with the teachings of Jesus. They've been distorted and put into the Bible. Things have been taken out, and basically the true message has been taken out. And what you have now is just not what Jesus taught at all.
No, it is crazy how it will get distorted because dude, the church has a long history of corruption and like just if corruption is involved in anything already, you know, how far will they go then? You know, like humans fucking just love politics for some reason, it seems to be, you know, but freaking pretty much all these stuff that they'll make forbidden knowledge or whatever, they end up just kind of turning into nowadays what people would call conspiracy theories,
right.
Or like this guy fucking hippie, you know, he doesn't know.
The supernatural is actually just that. It's more natural than what the other people believe. The truth has been diluted, and extraordinary really is more ordinary. We are all really extraordinary. We are all supernatural, but we've been told that we can only do certain things. So we are like a flea that once it hits the roof, it'll always jump to that distance, even when you take the lid off. We're told, oh, you can only do this. Oh, your brain only has the ability to do this. And it's the other people, the shamans that we seek, the the books on spirituality, on higher consciousness that we find that really take the lid off of us and let us know, hey, you can't just jump this high. You can jump, you're a flea, you can jump as high as you want, you know? So that you were saying about the supernatural.
Yeah, Stan Romanek story, supernatural, all that stuff. Once you start reading about the multiple things that are out there in reality, there's not like, you don't gotta choose any one. Like to me, it's not about one ultimate truth. It's about multiple truths all coexisting with each other at the same time. Like that's pretty much how it is. And so then I like to read about all those different coexisting truths. Like the alien Stan Romanek story is just a story of a simple average dude, I think who was born like in Colorado, forget where, and this fool is like an actual abductee of you just watch it for yourself, and there's like more than enough proof, and there's credible people like psychologists and professors from prestigious universities who have all gone together with this guy, talked with him, and they're even involved in the documentary, and they're like, yeah, you know, trying to give him credibility, like he's really something else, you know, he's an example of an actual abductee and stuff there. And so that's a really cool story to just open your mind to how like, wow, even something like that can like be existing right now. Or for me, I know it does exist, other people though, if they don't think it does, I'm not tripping. I'm like, it's okay. Like that doesn't mean I hate you or nothing, you know. But I'm just saying, watch Stan Roma next story though, and you know what I mean. Watch that shit, and then try to tell me all this bullshit you try to tell me and stuff.
Yeah, instead of believing what one person tells you, your mom, your dad, maybe see what all these other people are saying too. And so I'm curious, you're an intellectual, because you read a lot of books, you like to find out all the different sides to an issue before making up your mind, and even then you're still open-minded, and you're spiritual, and you smoke a lot of marijuana. So I'm curious.
It's kind of my downtime. I got a high tolerance, and I like that.
How do you see it? Like, what is does it connect you to another, like a higher power? Does it just relax you? Does it heal you? What does it do for you?
It does a lot of things for me. The main thing to me is it's just it relaxes me, and for me it's I guess that's the main thing. I also I guess kind of I like the act of smoking. I guess I might have an oral fixation on smoke. I won't deny that, but it does a lot of things, man. Depending on the day, because weed is such a beautiful and unique, special fucking plant that's been here on Earth. And it's funny because I'm gonna bring up another book that I read because I love reading.
Compared to Damn, I didn't know you actually
gotta look up
prepared.
this book. No, it's all good.
Just kidding.
There's this book called The Benefits of Marijuana by I know her name. The Benefits of Marijuana by her name starts with a J. By
Doctor.
She actually does have a PhD. Fuck, man.
Well, we have the title anyway.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Cause now I want to give her the shout out. I can't believe I'm not remembering her fucking name. Benefits of I'm gonna feel stupid when I see it right now. Joanne Bale.
Joanne Bale.
Yep. Knew it started with a J. And so that book, fuck, it's such a good book, man. It's about how the author tells you about herself, how she got into the field of marijuana.
Is she pregnant, dude?
No, that's a boy. And he's got a flab kind of. That fool hunts and stuff. He like eats mice and birds out there. And
nice.
This guy's hardcore, yeah. But then also, I think he's been going into my neighbor's pit. I saw him one day. I went out to work, and when I was walking out, this fool walked at the exact same time he walks out of their house. So we walked out at the same time, and then I look at him, and then he's like, freaks out and runs away. And this fool walked out of their house, and they have dogs. So that means they got dog food bowls and shit. So I bet this fool fucking eat dog food.
Yeah, anything.
He's getting fat, but anyways. Joanne Bale and her book, The Benefits of Marijuana, she just has a very good, objective and kind of just straight scientific, let the numbers speak for themselves type of approach, but at the same time very gentle and honest and direct. And her story is that her son was I forget what you call it, but I think he has epilepsy. He has continuous seizures, and so she was trying to find some way for him to get better, and she tried like all the conventional Western methods that the doctors originally recommended, and she herself at this point, while she's doing all this, she wasn't a pothead. She didn't smoke weed or nothing. She wasn't about it. She was just normal mom to the kid, and she's taking him. Nothing's working at the doctor's, and one day, you know, she just opens her mind like, I'm willing to do anything. I'm gonna try weed, and they give this fool edibles, and this fool stops having seizures by significantly reduced amount. You know what I mean? So then, that's how she pretty much opened her mind and her heart to weed. and everyone's story is different. It's cool how she shared her story though, and then she goes on from there to explain all different kinds of sides of weed, the effect that it has on the mind, on the body, on the fucking skeletal system, nervous system, all the systems and all that shit. And mainly what that book did for me, because before then I didn't really I wouldn't feel no need to justify weed, man. I knew by smoking it and from my first-hand experience of experiencing it that it was an innocent and very okay thing, and that I wasn't doing anybody any harm whenever I smoke weed and go to listen to my albums. Well, it would make me it would make me experience the things that I love in an even more profound way. And it seemed like to me it was always like a not a drug, but more of like a, oh, that I always knew it was natural. You grow if it grows just the way vegetables freaking grow. That's like a supernatural gift from God type plant that is here on the earth. So then
it's interesting how we have the receptors for it.
Exactly. So then once I started learning about just the little left brain side of all the marijuana facts, which is such as the cannabinoid receptors and the cannabinoid cells, and how they fit perfectly just like key and lock with our brain, how we happen to have that. That's not coincidence. Obviously, if we have those receptors, that means for a while, for centuries now, we've probably been having those receptors.
Yeah.
I doubt we got them recently anytime new. So that means that mankind has been smoking weed for years, and there's a certain you can feel that whenever you get kind of into the weed culture. And not by that I don't mean with your friends or with the world. I mean like you get into your own individual. Everybody has their own individual relationship with marijuana, just the way everyone has their own individual relationship with food, their own individual relationship with time, with the sun, the moon, with nature, everything. We're all different in the way we interact with all these everyday things. Weed can be one of them, especially here in California now that it's legal. So it's funny because I'll tell a lot of my family members that when we were younger, like when we would be 17, weed wasn't legal. You remember then?
Yeah.
So then, and I tell my parents like, hey, it's gonna be legal soon, like out on the streets to buy, and you never know when someone in the family who you never thought smoked weed is gonna go out and buy it and shit. Like not just me, like. This is.
The interesting thing about that too is that 30% of the population smokes marijuana. So you don't think about it.
In San Diego, I feel like everybody does.
In San Diego, it's probably higher. California higher, but just the idea is that when you go to the restaurant, sometimes it's the person serving you food. Sometimes it's the person sitting next to you. Sometimes you're driving and it's the person driving next to you. And you don't think about it because you're not on that wave. But they're in their own little world. And so you might think they're in the same world as you, but they're seeing things differently. The colors, their sounds, the thoughts they're having are just different, and you don't realize it.
No, I agree, dude, and that's why the marijuana, it has a different effect on everybody because everybody's different. And so even though there's the left brain, everybody has cannabinoid receptors, and so we're the same. It's no, people experience it different because we all have our different childhoods and experiences growing up, that by the time whenever you start smoking weed, weed triggers your brain to go into a different state. One of the things that book explains is that when you smoke weed, your brain actually starts producing alpha waves, which those waves are when the right side of your brain and the left side are synchronized. Or actually, I think it's beta waves. I forget, but no, I think it's alpha waves. But yeah, when the natural way our brains usually are when we're sober, or when we're all natural, nothing in our system. The right brain is moving at one frequency, and the left brain is at another different frequency.
I meditate, and when I meditate, I feel that
they synchronize. That's alpha waves. And also when you play the violin, that creates alpha waves. When you play the piano, that creates alpha waves. And there's different activities that will do that. Smoking weed is one of these activities.
What about playing soccer?
I don't know if I haven't read anything about studies that say it does, but I bet, because exercise does produce alpha waves, so yeah, I bet. I don't know, I'd have to look into it.
Anyways.
But soccer is always good anyway,
And dude, I haven't played soccer in like 6 months.
Me neither, man. The last time I played man, I went to the court with Diego like fucking 2 months ago or something. It's been a while. We should go sometime.
Well, I leave on Thursday. Thursday morning.
Damn.
I'm gonna play with Eddie tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
Eddie Munoz.
Dude, he's married.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's been a man.
I know. I heard about his sister. That happened a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember. I just know that. That shit still affects him. It's all love. It's all good.
All love. But what about, because you were talking about balance too, so do you believe that applies to marijuana too? Can a person smoke as much as he wants, such as the Rastafaris, for example, and be perfectly fine? Or do you think there's a certain balance?
I believe in, I believe in like balance. There's a certain balance. For me, there's a balance. I probably couldn't smoke as much as maybe certain Rastafari people. I still smoke a good amount. I love smoking. And fucking, like, I feel like, for me, yeah, like, I'm living in a kind of faster pace part of society. People here in America, most parts of America, and like here in California, and especially here in San Diego, it's just kind of, you're working like 30 to 40 to 50 to more hours a week minimum just to stay alive. You know what I mean? So already that fact, that's kind of pretty fast-paced culture you're living, because every day is just about getting to work on time, and then when I'm off, then trying to fit in what I love. And, trying to do it in between while still making time for my family, for my friends, and for me, shit I want, and to get enough rest, sleep, whatever you want to do. And so then, when you're living in a fast-paced culture like that, where you gotta work a lot and do your own shit, like, it's okay for when you have your downtime to fucking smoke all the blunts you want or whatever. I got friends who are like that, who they come off a 12-hour security shift, and my homie said he'll roll like 6 blunts, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, and he'll pass it around the whole room, and he'll be nice, super generous, like but he will smoke him by himself if no one's around though, like, this fool will still smoke fat. And so, but I don't hate, like, I'm not judging, like, that's him, he's doing him, because this fool's working on the grind, paying his check, his rent. So if this fool wants to smoke 6 blunts every day, I'm like, that's not excessive, like, that's Sergio. But for me, I'm probably not gonna do that. I smoke hella bowls though.
Yeah. Dude, I saw a hilarious video of this black guy. he's high as balls. His eyes look like this, like this. And they're super red, and his friend's recording him and says, "Hey, so you wanna smoke another blunt?" And he said, "What? We just smoked 7 blunts." And the friend's like, "So you're not down?" And he's like, "No, I'm not saying I'm not saying that." And he's like, "But damn, we messed up." And he's like, "But you're not down?" And he's like, "No, I'm not saying that."
You see, I'll be like that guy, kind of. I'll be like, yeah, I'm still down. I'm just saying down number 8. You know what I mean? Because yeah, dude, people will be like that, and so that's why I'm like, and I think people have their phases too. Like my homie Sergio, he's who knows what he's gonna be smoking years from now. It might still be 6 blunts, it might not. You know, like, but we all go through our own routines, and I think you gotta keep your balance for you. Like Rastafari people who smoke a shit ton, I think that's okay if you're like out going for a run every day. They're probably doing that. They're eating healthy. You know, as long as that's not all you're doing. You know what I mean? Like that can be, because anything in excess is bad. You know what I mean? So like, of course, also weed, and it's in excess. That's not a good thing. You can't just make your whole thing smoking weed. But like, let me give you an example. Like Wiz Khalifa, man. This guy smokes a shit ton.
Yeah.
But this fool's a hard worker. Hard ass worker. This fool just falls asleep in the studio, I bet, because he makes so much music. He's always making music. Or in the recent past, he might take a little break. But he got back on it. They released the album, him and Currency, 2009. That's the name of it. And it's super fire. And so someone like him, I know people be like, man, like, why does he got smoked so much though, everything, and this fool only joints, or this fool only his strain, this and that, and I'm like, whatever, man, like, this fool is just doing him, because this guy, he's working hard, making his money. If what he wants to do on his off time is blow a fucking ounce, like, fuck it, that's you. I bet he looks fit. That fool looks like he keeps a good balance of like, I'ma smoke fat, but then I'ma hit the treadmill or some shit. I don't know, and that's that's the kind of guy I am too. I'll smoke a bunch, but then like later tonight I'm probably gonna do some planks or some shit, or tomorrow I'm gonna go out for a run, and like I like that, not just because of ego shit for the physique, but because it's part of keeping your whole body, like, mind, body, spirit, everything's connected, all of that in balance. And like that has to do with not just inside, internal world, but external, outside world too. Like, me and you talking right now, like that's a balance that we're keeping in our life of like, we're keeping in touch. You and me have grown up, been homies for years. Now we're doing this shit, that's dope. And it's like that, that's a balance, that's an important balance to keep in your life. Like you gotta keep that balance of keeping certain friends alive, keeping the family alive, this and that, you know what I mean? Like you can't just make it all upset. And I feel like even though I'm talking about all this balance, like I'll still struggle to keep the balance, you know what I mean? Because there's you gotta fucking make money out here, and you gotta, be always working, and if not, I got a lot of family I always like to see, and I'm always wanting to make music. It never stops, but it's cool.
A lot of things going on.
But everybody does. Yeah.
Does that ever feel stressful because you have so many things that you enjoy doing so much that it's like, oh fuck, I can only do one, or like I only have time for one or two.
Yeah, some days I'll be like that. I'll be like, shit, man. There's not too many days, because mostly all I want to do is just do music, and every day I do it. But there is some days where, now you're right, I am like that. Like lately, I've been wanting to see some of my cousins, or like go to my grandma's pad, because my abuelita's pad is super cool on the weekends. There's always different random people in my family are there.
That's it.
Always, yeah. So you can
it's
always,
like a bar. You walk.
Yeah, you just walk in. You don't know who's gonna be there, but it's always someone there, and you're like, oh, what's up? And then you eat and you hang out right there, watch a soccer game or movie, whatever's going on, and just talk with the family. And I've been wanting to do that more lately. Hey, my brother just walked in.
Diego, what's up?
¿Te mudaste a tu estado?
Sí, estamos haciendo un podcast.
Oh,
sí, me está
Cállate,
grabando.
tráete una silla.
Oh, ¿en serio?
Sí. This is Jose's brother, younger
My
brother.
little brother, Diego.
Pull a chair, man. The more the merrier. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, we
Talking about keeping a balance, yeah. First we were talking about music, then we were talking about shamans, then aliens, then fucking keeping a balance.
Yeah.
You want to try some of this young coconut?
Yeah,
It's
coconut.
nice.
I'm good right now. I'm not really bloated yet. I have like a burrito.
How you been, man?
Good, man. Yeah, good. Just going to school.
Going to
Like
school?
that,
Tell us.
yeah. Tell the whole world, man.
Hey, what's your passion right now? What do you think about?
Same.
What's most in your heart?
Same stuff as the last like year or two ago. I just always practicing. Always trying to. I don't know. I like language a lot. I enjoy that. So I like to.
Are you
I
learning?
like to find new vocabulary.
You know Italian?
Yeah,
Huh?
I know Italian.
You're Italian?
I know Italian.
Dude,
yeah.
say something in Italian.
Ciao, mi chiamo Diego.
You said the most basic thing.
Say like
mi piace.
a whole
Ho
thing.
appena mangiato un burrito con fagioli, riso, avocate,
Patata.
It's con papas.
That's crazy.
Sono anche mangiato dei caroti.
What does this mean? Oh, buon compagno.
Un buon compagno.
Yeah, that's the lyrics I'm singing in the song in my choir class.
Tengo un buen compañero.
Like, oh, buon compagno, and then pigliamoci, and then vorrei che tu cantassi. I think that's like, would you like to sing a song or something?
It's like,
I'll show you later. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that much. I mean, I know a good amount. I practice.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, you know more than me. You know.
Yeah.
What languages though are you?
Right now, I'm taking French. That's interesting.
Je parle français.
Oui.
Oui. Tu ne savais pas?
Un po'. I just fui appena. I don't even know how to say that. Apenas aprendí.
Oui.
Ça va.
Comment tu t'appelles?
You want to hit a ball, man? Pack your little snuff.
On there?
Yeah.
He's been smoking.
Oh, yeah.
We've been on for like 2 hours, dude. He's the longest one I've ever had today.
Yeah, this guy's been going. I know. I was like, when.
But no, man. It's got off.
You don't gotta use all of it, man, because it's a shit ton. It's like freaking Lord of the Rings podcast. Hit that like that.
Yeah.
Some people actually like enjoy
Return of the
watching
King
it.
shit. They fucking 4 hours.
Some people some people like get off on it and.
No, some people do like that, man.
I put some crazy
Like,
titles to kind of.
He was saying it. He's like, oh, that he's probably like thinking they're still cracking up and shit. I was like, yeah, there's probably in here right now. Like, these fools fucking.
Yeah. We talked about that. Not on tape.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's chilling.
Off the record. But what I'm telling people is that you guys have a band called Underground Lounge, and it's special because it's a family friend thing. So when people support you, it's like a team dream, not a dream team.
Nah, dog.
It's like no, I get what you're saying.
So
Like everyone wants it. Like for us, just as much as we want it, and everyone believes in it, and it really does believe in it, and that was really cool. Like all the supporters, the real supporters, and like Mark, he's always
it's cool. We have a lot of friends like you, like you're supportive, like by even mentioning us, having us on the podcast.
I've commented on your videos on YouTube.
You have exactly. You always do it, and then like there'll be people like right here who like Mark. You're saying there's this dude Mark who he's ever since he came to some jam session right here. He was like, can you guys play at my house, a house show for Halloween? And we're like, oh shit. And that was our first house show, just because this guy was digging it and we do it. And it was a really fun night. It was super cool. And then he's been to every single show, like pretty much since that we have, like here in San Diego.
Yeah, he's always asking for like a physical copy of the music, like a CD.
Yeah.
I watched you guys play at Ocean Beach.
Oh,
The
the
co-op?
online, yeah.
On the video, dude, that was a sick
You like that?
video. You guys should do more of those.
Yeah.
Where we can see you playing.
Yeah,
Those
nah,
are
we're
sick,
gonna
man.
start doing those more. We actually
And the
have
guitarist, that one blonde kid.
Lionel.
Yeah,
He's fire, huh?
Yeah.
he's good.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's
Bad.
young too. Yeah, he's been playing for a long time.
No,
Call him
one of the-
Sunshine.
Yeah, son.
Remember the Titans? Sunshine. That's my boy. I like that.
Yeah, he's good. He's definitely good.
He's really cool, man. But yeah, Shinola also, every member in the band. I wish Shinola was here all the time. Shinola lives in LA. And so booking shows will always be like, oh, can Shinola come down? But it's also the good side of it is like that show. That's cool that you like that Ocean Beach show because Shinola couldn't come down that weekend. And then so we now have to be good at our sound of just trio, just 3-man show. And that's really cool too because that tests you out your comfort zone in the beginning. But now we're really comfortable with it whenever we play any trio show, you know. Like, me and this guy are always on lock. Me and this guy always feel comfy whenever we're playing any show, I think. Because you and me been jamming since like years and stuff. Huh?
Alright, so I have a kind of like a. It's like a. Alright, so suppose you know how you've heard the third try is the charm, right?
Yeah.
So I believe in that strongly where, like the first answer a person gives is how he sees himself. The second answer he gives is how other people sees that person. You know how sometimes we wonder, oh, how do people see us?
Yeah.
And the third answer you give is how you really are. So I want to ask, what is your biggest aspiration? But I don't want you to tell me the first one because I also believe if you reveal your secret, you know, then you lose a lot of energy. Like you spread the, you know, like the conserved energy inside you. Like you kind of give it away.
That's interesting.
So I don't want you to tell me the first biggest aspiration, not the second biggest, but what is your third biggest aspiration? So just think about it, and then I want to hear your answers. I'll do it too.
Third biggest aspiration.
And it doesn't even have to be possible. Like just what is in the heart.
Yeah.
For me, it's be a professional soccer player. I don't want to. I have no intention of being it. But it's in my heart. Like,
Hell yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yes. For me, what would it be? It's a tough question, you know. Do you know?
Yeah, I love to learn as many languages as I can.
That's your third biggest one?
Yeah, definitely.
Learn as many languages. I'm trying to learn Japanese. Sumimasen.
Yeah.
That's tough,
Onegaishimasu.
man. Right.
It means excuse me, please.
I feel like this might sound weird, but I would have a lot of fun being involved in maybe like freaking just being on some sort of the like creation team for like a show, like you know what I mean, like anime or something. I always thought like I think I'm good with voices. I could be like a voice actor or something
like a
like
cartoon
that.
or something?
Yeah, or even just like fucking be, or even really what more comes to mind is just being able to make like soundtracks for someone. But I guess that's still music involved. Trying to think something that's not music involved, like that I would, you know, I would want to do. Soccer is up there.
You used to memorize all the lines from what is it, Family
movies.
Guy or South Park? South Park. It was South Park.
I think it was both, maybe, man.
I watched all the episodes of South Park. It's
Nah,
like
I didn't watch South Park. I watched Family Guy more.
in algebra, I would watch it. Melvin would watch it, and you would watch it. I would be like, "All right, what happened?" And then you'd go over like the whole episode, like word for word.
Was that for South Park though? It wasn't for Family Guy.
Yeah, I don't think it's South Park.
Yeah, because I didn't watch South Park that much. I watched Family Guy.
Family Guy.
I always thought it was alright. Yeah.
It's not.
It's more immature type humor. South Park, you know, it's hit or miss. where Family Guy had some clever seasons that were original, but then some weak ones. You know what I mean?
Where's Tannis and Ellie?
I don't know, man. I thought they'd be here by now.
Oh, they're getting it right from each other.
Well, weren't you gonna get tennis?
I thought you were gonna get tennis. I was at work, dude.
What?
I'll go get tennis right now, dude. I told you guys I was like, I'm gonna get off at like 8:30, dude.
We're
You know
getting
what?
tennis, you guys.
Yeah. Literally, I thought you were gonna get that for man. You're the one. He's the one. He asked you directly, you know, because I
I
was
told you
already
guys
at
that.
home
No, I
eating.
told you at work, dude.
Dude, so yours would be.
I gotta take this
working
call
on-
on there.
That's good.
Yours would be working on a cartoon, dude?
Nah, not that. That would be one of them, maybe. I don't know. Like, I haven't narrowed it down to what's the third, but that's been one of them. Like, I always thought, like, even when I was a little kid, I'd be like, that's easy. When I would see certain shows and people like acting the cartoon out or something, I'd be like, "Well, people get paid for that. Like, I could easily like be a funny guy, like for a voice, you know, or whatever, and then
Dude.
that'd be cool."
We should make a funny video, like a skit. Do you like acting?
Not that much like real life, like me, like being on the camera.
no.
No, that's why I like the act. That's why I like the anime, like being the voice. Yeah, I like that.
I was thinking about a funny show that I would have, and there would be one character who always talked about her wig. In the most random moments, it's supposed to be funny. It's like
Talked about her wig.
her wig, yeah. Like people would be talking about whatever conversation it is, and then she would talk about the wig, and everybody would be like,
I'm like, I'm still trying to think, because that's not my true answer. That's just one thing that I can imagine myself doing that I'm like, that'd be fun. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it doesn't feel like that's the
for
one.
me, it was soccer player, and I have no intentions of even pursuing that at
Soccer,
all.
like, I'd rather be a soccer player too than the voice thing. Because dude, soccer was like super fun, man. It was funner than running. Yeah.
It's something about just kicking a ball.
No, it's super fun, dude. Yeah. This guy's been you're the one who's been going to soccer most. This fool. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
Victoria, yeah, but like each
Yeah,
one
just
is.
stretching a little.
People ask, where's his man?
No, I'll get in the shot. Was it? Nah, dude, yeah, I
Stretching,
remember a
okay.
while ago, like before you moved, that's when I was going a lot, but then after that, it kind of died down.
Yeah?
No one really
But
goes.
now it's kind of.
It's empty.
No, it's not empty now. Now there's like
People
there's
post.
like the same 15 people that go.
Oh,
Shit,
okay.
you know, so we could still get a game going, still, but I haven't gone in a long time because also it's been raining.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm about to go, it's like I get off work and it's raining.
That sucks.
But no, it's not too bad, man. I'm sure by next week.
Are you in the group? The Facebook group?
No, I don't have anything, dude.
You don't have Facebook?
I don't have any social media.
Nice.
Yeah.
This guy's off the grid.
That's healthy, man.
Except-
Honestly, that's
Except for the
healthy.
hello talk, where I like have the pen pals
Yeah.
overseas who are helping me with the Italian.
But that's not social media.
That's
though.
not social
That's like just messaging.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, social media is you open your phone to check your email and you see, oh, I have one notification on Facebook.
Yeah.
You go and you just spend 15 minutes watching memes.
But
That's
if
what
it
having
makes you
social
laugh.
media
If
is.
it makes you laugh, it's not that bad.
Makes
that's,
you
that's
laugh.
the
I
one-
love memes.
That's
Yeah.
the one thing I miss. But other than that, like you know, sometimes it'd be
Yeah.
a funny meme and make you laugh, but like I don't run into that as much. You know? But
It's been
it's all
proven
good.
that
Yeah.
having no social
Nah,
media
yeah.
is better for the. It makes a person happier.
Yeah.
Having it fucks with our dopamine reward system.
Yeah,
It does.
We just see the
I-
notification and we're like,
You
But
want-
it-
you
but it-
want
but-
more,
but it's
and
crazy
like the
because-
rewards, more likes and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy how I feel like that has to do though with like when you're a little too like I don't know like why would it's I guess it's an addictive thing, you know what I mean, because you become addicted to your phone, but I'm just like I feel like I don't become that addicted to my phone because I'm just like there's funner things to get addicted to than a phone. I don't know, you know
Dude,
what I mean?
for me today, I was eating with my mom, Fa, here in Chula.
Yeah.
And she asked me about an iPhone because I told her I bought mine on Let Go for $100. And she's looking for one for her business. So she's like, "Oh, look for it." And I pull out my phone, and I'm about to look for it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to, just because I can and do it really easily. But I said, this is business that I'm doing, and I don't want to do this while I'm eating.
Yeah.
You know, this is like dinner time, lunchtime, and I want to be present. I don't want, just because I can do it in a second, you know, I don't
know what you mean.
I don't
just
want
because, yeah, just because the temptation's there doesn't mean like you should.
just because it's easy to respond to a message, to call someone back, etc., doesn't mean that you should.
Yeah, no, yeah, like that's one thing. Like some people will feel like maybe an obligation to the phone. Like, are you the kind, Diego, to like, if you get a text, are you like, oh, like, I need to, like, of course you need to respond to it, but it's like, there's some people, you know what I mean, where like, there's a time and place when it's okay to respond, you know, say for example,